Patrick, when I watched his video of how to get clients even if you don't have a portfolio. I do have a portfolio already, but I think it's still a good idea. Um, in fact, because I have a portfolio site, I was thinking whose website would I do the exercise or like to apply his tips of giving an audit. And there were a couple of contacts that I know who could benefit from it. Like I was thinking whose website, but if I'm gonna go on the safe side, I think it would make sense to the fastest or like lesser friction, in my opinion, would be working on my website, and that's what I need to do anyway. Um, and then just to get the assignment done quickly or like tackle the challenge quickly, I think this is a good website to audit, which is my portfolio. And I'm gonna look for 3 points and something quick to do it, how I can improve this. And then perhaps later on I'll check out other websites that I can do it for. I've done it for other people also, although it's in a more private setting, meaning like a meeting or I send a link privately to do auditing. It's a great idea. It's good for marketing, but uh, either maybe you do it with a total stranger, you know, but I guess you have to have like the chutzpah, the to dare to do it for other people. And it's also in the video the reason why this could work for you and also whoever owns the website. Okay, let's go ahead. I brought out this iPivo app for annotation, and this is my portfolio website. How can I improve this? So it's very minimalist in a sense that I didn't put any stuff here. But if you ask me about how does it convert, do people click on it? First of all, I would have to be able to track clicks here, like to see its performance. This part I think looks good. I recently added this one, and if I'm gonna make it smaller, for example, oops, I don't want to show what's not meant to be seen. Okay, make it smaller. I haven't worked on the mobile yet. Sometimes I do check how it looks like, but you see I'm checking the responsiveness now. This is the smallest we can do with the smallest we could go on Chrome on a MacBook on a laptop. Mine is 15-inch. I think the resolution for Mac, because it's Retina, 144 1440 by 980 something. That's the resolution. And this is made on Wix Studio. So let's go ahead and check this one out. I turned off the quote that I added because I think it looked tacky. This, I think the text here could be broken down, like a better layout could be done here, like maybe 1, 2, 3. Designing intuitively with a holistic view. And then here it's nice, I would list it down. And I talked about a unique approach in art and design. I say unique. Now I'm critiquing the text here, the copywriting. because it's very personal. If the more personal you get, the more uniqueness you can find. Okay, this one is a, what do you call it, a stock photo. It works for now. Like there's no problem. I can update that with an actual. It's really the my choice here if I want to use stock or not. One advice that I saw is that it's better to get your own stuff. I'm gonna share it later, but it's a good thing. For now, like visually, there's nothing wrong with it. It's a good picture, but more personalization would be good. High production value projects, AAA games, and design and development. I'm checking like the category because I know my stuff. Um, I think this can be improved, the text here. What do you mean by that? And then architectural visualization. I recently changed this one from the template because it's on Wix Studios, so they have pre-made sections that you add, and I think I'm getting very detailed because I know how I built it, how I got it. There's no issue in general about using templates. But how does it match to the text and the image here? I was feeling playful, and it's part of architecture anyway. It's a close-up, but if you look at the flow, there's not so much flow here, like the connection of this and this and this. What's the theme? One is a black and white, while chess pieces are black and white usually, but this is considered a black and white picture, and this is a monotonous, I would say, but it's not entirely a black and white photo. So already there is a inconsistency in the style there. So either, and this is why it's pretty safe, but in terms of consistency and design, it has to be consistent. Unless you're treading the bold path of like not following design conventions, or like you want to be more uh, you take want to take risks more, that could work also, but this is also not matching. It's kind of monotonous, but the color with this and this one are not the same. And then here is another different one that needs to be changed. Creative marketing projects, it's a good placeholder, but yeah, so that needs to be worked on. And this one, that doesn't look good where it is. The spacing and the type treatment could be improved. Let's see if it's okay if we do like this, and let's just take out the desktop. How do I take off? Let's see if I could. Okay, I got that out of the way. These are the client projects that I worked on. And it's blocked, the footer there. It's not, I guess it's not such a big deal, but it would be good to not block that one. So I think the spacing here, I wonder if it's better to have like a horizontal thing. It's huge, I would say. Okay, going back to the desktop mode, desktop layout. Let's try to go up. Okay, whoa. So this is built, it's a something I got off from Spline, which I didn't change much. They have like existing assets, so I put that in, testing the the process of how quick is it. So it's a little experiment. I didn't do too much tweaking except for the the background, and then it was easy to create something like this using Spline. Okay, so this is 3D, and I think it's amazing how the process from to put something like this on your website, the 3D asset that you could navigate on 3D, is good. But I'm rambling about this feature now. What would I change is I would look for another treatment for this. It depends like what my intention are. I'm thinking how it is like, okay, if somebody made this, what would I say? I think like visually there's not so much issue about it because it could be a minimalistic um, design for a website. This is all you see, and then you click. And where does that go? Let's do that. I believe it goes to my page about shared worlds, and it pinged on my phone because it's my website. It tells you who visited. So this is from an old version. Um, this one down up to down below. Uh, it's a test project. The problem with this right now, you see, it is you're getting into the 3D space. So one of the ideas I had for this to make it easy to navigate, because that's hard because I'm scrolling down with my trackpad on my laptop, and when I do this, suddenly you're inside the viewport, 3D viewport. So what I could do is maybe add here, let's use this IP though. I'm gonna add here something like a graphic. This is an arrow, like something nice and inconspicuous, but this will be where the mouse pointer would go to scroll down, and maybe scroll down. So that's where, otherwise you're gonna be navigating 3D space. Or I'm brainstorming now. I'm wondering if I should put a frame there, and then it will help people to know that once your mouse cursor, oops, once your mouse cursor or pointer goes inside the box here, you're in the 3D space. Ooh, wow. Oh, I didn't know that. Awesome. Okay. And then, so that's one idea that I could do to improve the navigation here. Moving forward, see that? If I scroll down with the mouse, let's see. No problem. If I have that is a problem. Also a problem with the mouse. I have a 3-button. There's a wheel on my mouse. The middle button is a wheel, so it does the same thing. It's causing a problem navigating if I wanted to go like down. Okay, this is not with spline. This is an experiment, a test that I did using a different method, different software. The 3D was made in Blender. Here I am again talking about the project. But yeah, why not? It's my website. Okay, I put here a go to top button, but that's a problem because they're fighting for that space, and now this chat button is blocking that other go back to top button. It's not good. Okay, moving on. Okay, I sped through that and it worked. Now it didn't. So there's a navigation problem that we need to solve. And here's some information about the project. It's good, and the same 3D Earth, which is very easy to reproduce. And this is a page that is coming from the earlier iteration of this website, because I tested Editor X, and now they have Wix Studio. So this is a remnant of that from the old iteration. It's not working for me now. Like it feels old for me. So for sure, this can be updated to something that feels newer. It's subjective also, but I think yeah. Even if I look at it, I think this can be updated. The text treatment, even if I follow the same layout, the text treatment here could be improved, like maybe make it bold and test it out what will look better. And I don't know, the glow is feeling oldish for me now. And again, I say it could be subjective, but it would be good to know what you guys think also, since I'm sharing it, this one, to the world. Yeah, it feels outdated. And this could be icons. It needs more exploration to improve this one. And it doesn't have the same footer as before. So I'm gonna go back to the home page. Here also it works. This one takes you back to the home page. Another ping on my phone. And okay, here we go. So this one I took it out on the mobile version because it looks tacky. I like that I could quickly and easily update on Wix Studio. So the conventional way of doing a website would be something like, how do we erase all of it? Okay. The conventional would be to start it with a drawing, for example. How about we start a whiteboard? Okay. Conventional process. Web design process. Okay. You start with wireframing, sketching. It used to be that people do it on a paper and then draw with pen and paper. And then there was something before like InVision to do the prototype. And then Figma came and the likes. There's also Sketch, and it used to be Adobe XD, but there are no more. It's actually the first one that I tested, I used before Figma. And on Figma, you create either the wireframe or go high fidelity quickly. And then build a prototype. And then you build on handover to the web developer. And then they'll either code or low code solutions, and then no code solutions. So with no code, we have something like Wix Studio, which is new. The one before it is Editor X. So it's a powerful no-code tool. And either you code, the conventional way was to code it, but we're at this present time, we have all these options. And because this is newer, so it's not as conventional. Okay, not to get lost with the semantics and terms, these are newer solutions that is offered these days. In the past 5 years or so, I think 5 years ago, when was that? Yeah, so I think it hasn't been 5 years yet, because Editor X was released, I think 2021, I believe. And then they released this, when was it? Very recently. So it's not even 5 years old yet. So it's very new. And now you have a lot of options to go this route. Usually they give options, like no-code solutions give options for like adding some code or take it from somewhere. And so there's also software like Figma Anima, and then code, or yeah, something like that. Anyway, the reason that I'm talking about this, what is the reason? Let's find out. So I was the reason that we talked about that is because I think it's amazing that we have tools like Wix Studio, that it changes the way that you create and update a website. So it's possible now, from the conventional style, to go directly on Wix Studio. I wish I saved that screenshot before, but right now, no need. It's possible to make everything from the ground up on something like Wix Studio. But is that a good way? So this is possible from Sketch. You don't even need to sketch so much anymore. But if you do that and then your website grows, like what's happening now, mine isn't even big yet. Like I have a few links that you could, few pages. Let's be a little bit more accurate with it. Okay. I do have a few pages connected, like the blog, and then and what else? The shared worlds page that I showed earlier, and then I think one more, or maybe just two. So I have a few, but I see also there's a need, as you try to refine it, you want to see the overview. The need for seeing the overview, you don't have that kind of option or tool yet with Wix Studio. So the good thing about it is that I can take a screenshot and like put it on Figma, and then there's now a plugin, Figma to Wix Studio. And this also was only released very recently, which is really, really good. So because there's a need for like overview and to evaluate and plan better. It was good. It's yes, it's possible to do things from the ground up, like I did with this with my portfolio site. But as I continue to refine, like I want to back up a bit and then try to refine it again, even though I'm working with just one or like two to three pages. So you see, even if there's only three, there's still it's still good to have an overview. Anyway, as I was saying, what I like about this process that it's possible to do everything from the ground up and then it's live. Like it's up to you if you want to publish it right away, which I think is good because also there is a shift on the behavior and uh, on the behavior and people's expectations, like what's the norm these days with social media that anybody can publish themselves, like show up to the world. It doesn't matter if you're a celebrity or not. There's a change in the behavior. So it's encouraged that even if you don't have it perfect, you can show something. You can also be minimalist. It used to be that websites have a coming soon. I don't see this a lot anymore. I think very few because there's so many good templates like in Wix, um, that you could change things. Like give yourself uh, a few minutes, like 2 minutes, 10 minutes, and then you can update the template that will, and then launch it right away with the correct details. Even if it's not the most perfect, or like you could have something published right away. It doesn't need to go to the developer or somebody who will take it to InVision to prototype and see, and go through that conventional process anymore. It's very quick. So yeah, the change of behavior, and it changes the process. You can make increments, little increments, little changes to improve your website, like what I started to do here. Like I published this. It was different before, but like I make little changes, not perfect at all, and that's a risk that I was willing to take. So um, you play things differently. Like the risk changes when you're, for example, you're a bigger company or you're Nike, and then you make some changes that are very, you know, what I'm trying to say is the what ways as a risk are different when you're starting out. When you're starting out, not a lot of people are seeing you, and it's okay. Like there's little risk involved when you show something that it's not yet perfect. Um, and so that's what I did here, even if it's not perfect. And then you see, like I let it brew. I put it out there and then I see it over and over, or whenever I open my browser, I set it as a home page. And so I visit it, I see it many times, and then you check, like that's how you're testing. That's how I'm testing my the changes that I made, and then now I feel like this looked tacky, and I turn it off on mobile, and now I think I could just get rid of this, and yeah, so that's I think the change of how you can make small increments, small changes, and I think it's good because people will feel if you somebody comes across your website and then they're curious to visit again and then they see a change, they'll feel that, oh, this is being worked on, like it's alive, like there are changes. Maybe if I visit again later, I wonder what changes they would make. So yeah, I think it's good. Um, I think that's the same idea in social media, that it's good to not leave it stagnant, because the point of being consistent, even if it's not every day, is that people can, it will remind them about you or your brand. Okay, I've made the point. Moving on. This to me feels old. This is the same way as a creator, as an artist or designer. Right now we're designing. It's the same for people who make music, for example. You hear it a lot, and so you are simulating people's what could people be perceiving. Is it a song that you could play over and over and you don't get tired of it? And when you get tired, like you review it every time that you listen to the music that you're trying to make. So the same way here, this to me feels old already, because I've been visiting my website, like I see it a lot, and I made some changes recently, and so now this is feeling old. So yeah, that's the subjective view, which it's not impossible that people who visit your website would also feel that way. So yeah, if you look at it though, like the picture is okay, but at the end of the day, um, people will decide by their feelings. Like technically, this is okay. Like the layout and the picture is crisp and clean. It's a nice picture. But how do they all play out? And what's the feeling that is being evoked here? To me, I think it's time for an update. So this is the one that I was reviewing. I have the Pinterest uh, extension in Chrome. That's why this is showing up. I don't know if I don't think it will show up for other people unless they have that plugin as well. Anyway, the same thing that I said about the theme, there's no clear theme here except that it's not very colorful. Monotone but not matching. See? Like the temperature, and then this is a different temperature. This has more warm in it, more warmth, and this also. This is from the template, this and this. And then these are changes that I've made. And so that's another thing that need to be, there has to be a theme that works. Match up the theme in terms of color, the feel. So those pictures need to be updated. And this one, it's either I'm low energy, but I don't have the energy to read all of these. I think these could work with 1, 2, 3 lines only. So I don't need a long one. And then a picture would work. But I think it's still too long. The copy here is still too long. And then what was the year? Either turn it off or state the year. I don't think it applies, really. Maybe a last update could work, but I don't think this is needed, the year. Branding, identity marketing, and yeah. So I'm checking the content here. This is okay. I'm talking about the number of lines and the number of words. I'm still not reading it at the moment, but I don't know though if I want to list it out personally. Another, again, like the year, I don't think it's very relevant on this section based on the items, and the spacing here is okay, but I excuse me, I tested this out, but it's not working. So I need to change this. And then here it is, the footer. 2020 was when I tested the Editor X. So I think, yeah, I think 2020 came out. Created on Editor X in Studio. How important is that? I think I'm just feeling nostalgic about it as an early adopter. Anyway, it's okay, but it's not like I have a lot of pages right now. So I think it's okay, this one. So what are those 3 things that I would change is these. Also, it takes up a lot, so it's kind of you change it up, it will feel better after I change it if I follow that there should be a theme, whether it's a black and white, or is it more teal or more warm like these two, or a black and white like these. And then even if I just change the image here, it would already feel newer. So maybe should change that. So it's a quick, quick thing, quick changes. Even if it's small, it's gonna improve the feeling, pretty sure. So those are the 3 things. And then just this out. I can just take this out and put in the blog if I'm feeling quite attached to it. The idea with this one is like to show like a little quote that could change, like some ideas that are brewing. What am I working on? What am I thinking? What are the topics that, I'm tackling these days? Yeah, so that was the idea here. But the design doesn't seem to work. Maybe I could just turn it off or make it better. The quicker way is to turn it off. But you balance it. You risk it. You want to make a statement, or do you want to look better? You want to look good, or do you want to make a statement, even if it's risky? That it will not make you look good. That's what I'm balancing now about deciding to turn this off or leave it on. These are okay. And this one. I think this might have the same issue about scrolling down, because it's possible. Right now it's okay. Like if I scroll down 2 fingers on the trackpad, it doesn't, like I could still go down. But if I click and drag here, you're navigating on the 3D viewport. So it's a little bit of a risk about navigation there. It would be interesting to get a feedback what others think, how it's going, like how's the navigation for other people. So if you're watching this, hope you can visit. This is the website, and let me know if it's okay. Otherwise, I have to put something like either change the layout because it's taking up a large space, almost the whole space, like 90% of this viewport screen, the viewport here. So yeah, okay. So those are some things that I would change on my portfolio website. That's it.